this computer.
Okay.
Phew.
Huh.
Tell you how's everybody? I know say plenty bets cast, but how good one.
At this
So
time, you're okay.
mm, I mean that was the agreed time. So anyway, so while we wait for the others, those of us who were here yesterday, if there is anything that you would want us to touch on before we proceed to today's model, yes, let me know so that we'll do a quick touch up on it. And right, share this one. Okay, good. Okay, so while we wait for the others, I think I was actually reading some exam guidelines, and I was trying to get some exam materials for all of us, and I found some few things, right? So we already know that the exam questions are in two types: multiple choice and then multiple response. Now, the multiple choice has one correct answer and three wrong answers, and the multiple response has five possible options that you might be told to choose either three or two answers, right? For from them. And I think one of the strategies that I found out was that first of all, when you see the question, relax and understand the question, and also look out for keywords, right? Try to understand what the question um seems to ask, or what you need from the question, or the question need from you, right? And then don't straightforward look for the correct answer. Try, and then if you understand the question, try and then think about the possible answer before. So for example, if you see a question like you would want to run a storage, right, a volume that would be attached to an EC2 instance, and that volume has needs to be retain data when the instance is off. So in situations like this, you are looking at a volume that can be attached to an EC2 instance, right? And then two, requires data retention. So these are the two keywords that you are looking at. So first off head, you are thinking of block storage. You get it. Now, when you are looking at the possible answers, you do elimination first. So look at the wrong answers and then eliminate them. Now you'll be left with two. And the possible answers, yes, there will be ones that are like closer, right? In a question like this, you might have answers that relate to Amazon's storage services that they provide, right? That's the EFS, the EBS, the S3, and then all that. But offhead, you know that is an elastic block storage, right? So after you eliminate the answers, you'll be left with the correct answer, right? In situations where you have two answers that are closely related, you try and then go back to the question again and think about it. Look at the keywords, or you look at the scenario and you juxtapose it with the two answers. You definitely get the answer. And you have an hour and 30 minutes for, I think, 65 questions, right? Yeah, 65 questions. So in as much as you need to answer within time, you should also make it a point to, spend a little time on the questions to understand before you answer. The goal is to pass and pass well, right? And I think that I shared the exam guide there. We all know which of the domains that the exams will be set on. One thing I've also realized is this: let us try and then read the documentations that come with the modules, especially the ones in the student guide, right? As tech professionals, one thing that we need to actually learn to do is to reading. In the tech space, if you don't like reading, it's kind of difficult because you have to read product briefs, you have to read product documentations, and then all that. When you are given a task, especially if you are a cloud engineer, you are handling the whole infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure of a company, you have to read, right, to see what the organization wants in order to be able to set up the correct, infrastructure for them. So we will need to read the materials because for the new exam structure, nothing was removed from the old one, right? But some has been added. And there are a lot of things that questions might be set on. So far, looking through some of the possible practice exam questions, there are questions that comes that all the modules have been treated. They probably just touched on, and you will have to refer to the documentations before you get to see them. Especially there is something on rehosting, replatforming, repurchasing, retaining, and there's another one forgotten. Those ones was just brushed off in one of the modules, right? But when you look at the student guide, there is a link to the documentation. When you open the documentation, you are going to see it's there. Get it? So we have to also pay attention to that. Welcome everybody. Anybody who just joined, welcome. Prince, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, Charlie.
Okay, sure. So we'll begin our shared. So today we are going to look at module 2 that talks about cloud economics and billing. I'll try my possible best to finish it within time. If we have more time, we will look at the global infrastructure. If not, we postpone it to tomorrow. All right. So we are looking at the fundamentals of pricing. That's the drivers of the AWS cost. We are all aware that AWS charges you, or let's say will charge us for what we use and then when we use it, right? But the three main things that drives cost is the compute, storage, and then data transfer. And with data transfer is outbound data transfer, right? So compute in the sense that the compute resources that we use and then the hours that we use it, storage, the capacity that we use, and then the outbound transfer for the transfer that we make, right? For inbound transfers, there are no charge for it. That is transfers within AWS services in the same regions, right? And then the outbound transfers are put together. So that's what we call aggregated. So any transfer that you make, they are put together across the services and then are charged as data transfer out. We call there's the name they give it, AWS data transfer out. So in this case, it means that if you transfer data between services across different regions, so let's say you are using Virginia, and then you transfer data from one of your services to another service in, let's say, London, right? You will be charged for that service because it's an outbound transfer. But let's say you take data from a block storage to an S3 bucket in the same region, right? That is an inbound transfer. and you are not going to be charged for it. And they have several different pricing philosophies that AWS also charge on. They have the on-demand, there is spot instance, and then there is a reserved instance, right? There is another one that is, I think I'll talk about that later, but let me talk about what we have now. So yes, definitely you pay for what you use with no upfront expenses, right? You don't pay for anything upfront. So when they say it's a utility style pricing model, just like how your ECG bills are, or now let's say your prepaid bills are, or your water bills are, right? You pay for the quantity that you use, or you pay for the service that you use, the amount of light that you use, the period that you use it, right? So that is what we call a utility style. So as you utilize, you pay as you utilize, pay as you go, right? And you don't, there is no long-term contract as well. You don't have to say, okay, I'll use it for 10 years. So, or there is any law or there is any contracts binding you to use the service for a period of time. I know some rental services, especially for offices, that gives you a contract that, okay, you'll have to stay in for 5 years, right? And the cost is to be paid per year. Now, if you don't stay, if maybe by 2 years you are moving, you will have to pay a penalty for the rest of the years, right? But for AWS, their terms are not like that. So the pricing is based on the amount of resources that you use or you consume, right? And you can stop using it. You can start or stop using it at any time. Those of us who have been billed for the EC2 instances that we use, when you check the cost or the billing, you are able to see the period that it was on and then where it was deployed, right? Yes, and there is also economies of scale. So economies of scale, I explained yesterday that the more people use, the lesser the price, and also you pay less when you use more, right? And yes, this is the reserved instances. So the reserved instances has all upfront, partial upfront, and then no upfront. Now, if you pay all upfront, that the reserved instances, you are either reserving it for a period of 1 year or 3 years. That is the term, the contract terms, right? If you want to reserve an instance, and the reserve instance in the use case of reserve instances, when you have like a predictable utilization, right? You know that, okay, for in a year continuously, I'm going to use like this capacity or this amount of workload. So you are sure of your usage. So that one you reserve an instance for it. So that is in the use case of the reserved instance. Now, all upfront means that you are paying ahead. So if you want it for 1 year, you pay all that you are supposed to pay for the period of 1 year, and there is no extra charge again. So anything that you use, all the instance that you use, the capacity, the period that you use it, there is no extra charge for it. And there is also partial upfront. So partial upfront, you pay parts of the cost of the reservation that you are making, and then the rest is charged at a discounted hourly rate. You know that the instances are charged per hour used, right? So if you are paying partial, you pay part of it, and then the rest of it is what's charged at a discounted rate per hour rate. I mean per hour used. And for the no upfront, even though you are reserving, but you are not paying upfront, but then you are going to be charged per hour rate. But yes, it's also a discounted rate. But the thing here is that you have reserved it for a year, right? So it has to, they will still, even if you don't use it, right? That's what the reserve instance stands to, mean. In these situations, you have reserved them. So whether you use it or you don't use it, you will be charged the hour rate. So for the partial, you pay parts. For the upfront, you don't pay parts, but you will still be charged per hour rate, regardless whether you use it or you don't use it. And we also look at and I said I'll talk about another one. So there is another one called instance saving plan. Yes, instance cost saving plan, something of that sort. I think that's the new one. For that one, you make a commitment, right? You make a commitment of the hour rate that you are going to use. Give me a moment. Let me get the name right. Right. Yeah. So it's called EC2 instant saving plans, right? EC2 instant saving price. So what this one tends to get, you also commit for a year or a 3-year term, right? But what this means is that your price is discounted, right? Your cost is discounted, but you also commit to, but for this one, you are not making upfront payment, but you commit to a certain usage hour, right? So for that period, that cost is discounted for that period, for the year, or maybe for 1 year. So let's say you might use it for, let's say in a day you use it for 8 hours, right? So it means that for 8 hours they are giving you a discount of this amount, and that continues for a period of a year or 3 years. And you can switch in between, the processor that you use, the T2 micros, the C5, and then the R5, and then all that. So that is the instant saving plans that they have. So for that one, you are not reserving, but you are just committing to let's say a period of usage or an hour of usage. So let's look at the core pricing concept. Now for core pricing concept, as we all know, so I mean the pricing is just talking about the on demand. You get charged for the period that you use, and then when you use it, right? And there are also volume-based discounts that are available as your usage increase. So the more you use, so that is the economy of scale. So the more you use, the lesser your price. Just like you go to the market, right? When pure water was the price of pure water, sachet water was changed from 20 pesos to 30 pesos. People were selling 3 for 50 pesos, right? If you are buying one, you pay 30 pesos. If you are buying more than one, that is if you are buying, so if you are buying two, right, you pay 50 pesos, not 3, right? And I mean, as customer base is increasing, AWS is still working to, I mean, reduce cost, right? And they are also investing in higher performing resources, so that, and this one is as no extra charge to the users or the customers, right? They also provide custom pricing for those who utilize high volume services or high volume workloads, right? It's just like MTN saying that, okay, looking at your data usage, you need to use a dedicated service. And I think we are all aware of this, that if somebody buying like 400 cedis bulk of data saves more than someone who buys like 1 gigabyte. I mean, they buy like in pieces of 1 gigabyte, because for 400, the amount of data that you get, you will need, if you are buying like by little, you have to spend almost over 2,000 cedis to get the same amount of data that somebody who bought like 400 cedis data in bulk, right? So that is it. So for the high volume, I mean, users, there is a custom pricing for them that helps them to also save cost. And there is also a free tier. There's a free tier for new users.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I was looking for a place to raise my hand, but at least I can't find it. I wanted to ask, in what use case do you use the cost saving one?
So that is like for the high volume projects, right?
No, I think when you were mentioning the all up front and then the partial up front, you mentioned the EC2 cost saving plans or something like that.
Yeah. So for the saving plans, right? Those ones when you are using the on-demand services, right? You know the instances, there is the on-demand, there is the sports instance, and then there is the reserved instance, right? For the on-demand, you are charged per hour rate, right? But if you want the savings plans, then you have to commit to like an hour usage or like a particular period of hours. Okay, so I don't have like data on my usage. Like I don't have the predictive data or a predictive data usage. So I'll still use it on demand. But then in a day, let's say I'll use like for 3 hours or for 4 hours, right? So since that is so it's more or less like you are reserving, but you are not reserving for like that period of year. You know, the reserve instance, when you reserve it for that period or for the 1 year period, you are charged per hour rate, whether you use it or you don't use it. Get it? So you reserve an EC2 instance and then you don't use it, and you are probably doing a no upfront. Still, for that period, for that 1 year period, they will just discount the price for you, but will still charge you per hour, regardless whether you use it or you don't use it. But for the
Okay, so I'm trying to rephrase the question so you get me properly. In
okay,
what sort of question in the exam would you choose the cost savings?
okay. So let me
What
try and
sort of question? Like that's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah. So I think I'll have to coin a question around that. But I'll get a question. But like in that instance, those one you have to see on demand, right? No, there's a question on that. Wait, let me just get the question. There's a question on that. Where did I get this question? Okay, learn AWS. Oh no. Okay,
All
so
right,
you
guys. So I'm asking because, like, for the all up front, there was a scenario he given in the partial scene and in the no up front scene.
yes. So definitely, I should
Supposed
give
to be
a
correct.
scenario for that as well. I saw the question somewhere. That's what even made me go read about it.
But you can go ahead so that we can talk about that
Yes,
later.
yes. While I search for the question, I'll get it.
Um,
All right. So yes, and there are services that are used and at no like charge at all. Like there are free services that you can use on the AWS platform. Something like I know of the Elastic Beanstalk that is free. There is there's another one that is free. I know of three actually. Yes, and there is CloudFormation that is also free. So CloudFormation is like a template for you to look at in order to set up your. So it is that service in itself is free, but sometimes what's the things that might happen while using the service, or some of the service that you might utilize while using the service, is what that is charged, right? So the associated resources might be charged. So for example, if you are using a CloudFormation, the CloudFormation gives you a template for you to use to model your AWS infrastructure. But that doesn't mean that if through the CloudFormation you utilize an S3, you utilize a block storage, that doesn't mean that it's not going to be charged, right? And for the Beanstalk, it's for you to quickly deploy your codes or your applications, right? So you utilize you using what's it called? The Beanstalk is free. But what you use the Beanstalk to do will be charged. I hope that is clear. So that is it about the free services that AWS also offers. Okay, so let me just pause here and then take questions. Anybody that has question from whatever we have talked about so far before we go to the total cost of ownership. Is I see here?
I see.
I'm here. I'm here.
Uh-huh.
I'm listening.
You are a PSG fan, eh?
Please. My city.
Or a Barca fan.
PSG, you're cool, bro.
All right, so I'll take questions, and if there are places that anybody thinks that probably the explanation I'm going to say, yeah, AC and run. Then we look at it. So questions. You guys, you should talk. We have 37 people here. All right, that's an improvement from yesterday.
Yes, I think we should move on. If anyone has a question, they may either raise their hands or interrupt. So we can
Okay.
cover more.
All right, sure.
The silence is deafening.
So total cost of ownership. Give me a moment. Right. So yes, let's talk about total cost of ownership. So what is total cost of ownership? So the total cost of ownership is what's it called? Your aggregated cost, like of the services, and then its associated resources that you utilized or you used, right? So let's say you use an escort service, right? And for the escort service, within the escort service, you have chauffeurs, you have security, and you have what again? Let's say tour guides, right? In there. So your total cost of ownership includes the car rental, the chauffeur that you used, and every other services that you use together in the escort service that you patronized, right? So that is what we call total cost of ownership. So anything that has to do with a service or a resource that you use, that is what we call the total cost of ownership. So through our models, there was a comparison between the on-premises deployment and then the cloud deployment, right? So the on-premise infrastructure is installed on a company's own computers and then servers, right? So you incur a fixed capital expenditure, right? And these fixed costs includes the facility, the hardware, the licenses that you have to buy, and then the maintenance of staff as well, right? And then scaling up can also be very like time consuming and expensive. The same as the scaling down does not, reduce the fixed cost anyway. So I think yesterday I made a scenario of a company trying to even build a new data center, right? You have the network engineers messing you up. Anybody that even give you the service are going to delay you. So unlike cloud that you might even use like just a few minutes or a week to deploy your data center, it might take you months. right? It might take you months to set up a data center when you are doing your on-prem, right, deployment. But with cloud, you just purchase whatever you want from the service provider, and you only pay for what you use, and you have the flexibility to either scale up or down depending on your demand, and you are free to stop it anytime you want it, and you come back anytime you want it, right? Unlike the traditional sellers, you might even ask of a price and then you not go back again. The next time that you go back, the person will not mind you, because every day you ask of the price and then you don't buy, right? And there is also, so I think I've explained the total cost of ownership thing, right? Or should I go over again? And so I think the only thing that I didn't add was the things that I think I added everything. The thing that what it encompasses, right? So the server, the storage, the facilities, the network, and then the IT labor costs, among others. So that is what we call the total cost of ownership. So if you are comparing your total cost of ownership from on-prem to that of the cloud, you have to consider all those things. How much it costs you to put up the data center, buying of the servers, terminating your cables. Putting everything together, power, right? Your internet cost, the labor, the person that manages the data center. Or you have to look at all of them and then add them to your total cost of ownership. I'm trying to get the question on the saved instance. That is why I'm breaking through. All right. And this one talks about, transparency and then the accurate assessing cost. Says, so AWS offer transparent pricing based on the different usage metrics. So again, those of us who were charged for the EC2 instance that we used, right? You are given a breakdown of the cost, what service that was used, the period, where, which region was it spanned or spinned up to, and then all that, right? And cost. So here, this second point, I actually battled myself with it before I got to understand. So he said on the cloud, costs are upfront and easily calculated based on usage metrics, right? I felt it should be costs are not upfront and easily calculated, but I think this was talking about the using the pricing calculator, right? You are able to model the infrastructure that you want to use, and you are able to, but it doesn't make the cost upfront, but you are able to have an idea of how it's going to, cost you, right? If you are using the cost explorer, you are able to look at your previous data, and then per the forecast, you are able to see how much you might pay at the end of your billing cycle. But with on-prem, you look at both direct and then indirect costs, right? And you might, it's difficult to even like have an accurate calculation of your cost, because sometimes your server might be faulty and you might not repair it from the original equipment manufacturer, right? You look at a third party to come and manage, or do the repairs for you. Transportation costs, you might brush it off sometimes, so go and take petty cash, all those things, right? And even the period that your server might fail you, if you don't have a backup, that downtime period might cost you, which are costs that you might not even factor in. So calculating like your cost of ownership for on-prem deployment sometimes is difficult, and then has certain discrepancies. Any question before we move forward? So this one is a comparison that was made for a company that moved from on-prem to the cloud, and their individual costs, their individual costs, right? So let me try and then zoom in. for all of us to examine it, right, for a period of for a while, and then before we move on. Okay, so this is a sample cost distribution for a company or somebody who moved from on-prem to AWS. So this were a 3-year cost, total cost of ownership. Like for on-prem, for the period of 3 years, they spent $91,922. On the other hand, on the cloud, they spent just $2,000 for the period of the 3 years. So this is not a monthly cost for the period of 3 years. So their total cost for on-prem, right? So you can see that for labor, it couldn't be quantified because probably there might be change of staff and then a whole lot of things. So it couldn't be quantified. But even that, their total cost was about 167,000 plus for the period of 3 years, and just 7,000 for the period of 3 years when they moved to the cloud. So this is just an explanation of what happened in the diagram, right? So it was, I think this one was done using the pricing calculator to estimate the monthly bills and then all that. All right. Please, before I move on to the hard and soft benefits, I need questions. All right. There might be things that I might probably brush it off or skip them. So I'll need questions on that. Or I'll need questions so that we make sure that we are all aligned.
Mention names.
Okay, let me go and mention names. Hey, where do I find this thing, Charlie? Zoom to be easy like that. Boys or girls? Ladies first, eh? I see Bridget. So Bridget, I think Bridget was on the call yesterday, but she didn't talk. Bridget, can you hear me? Don't feel me. Okay, I say your team won, so you are in a good mood today. Yesterday, Arsenal won, so you couldn't show them. Your team won, so you are in a good mood today. Anything to add? Anything to sub? Yes, anything to take out?
No, please. I don't have anything to say. I'm sorry. I'll pay better attention next time.
You will.
I'll pay better attention next time. I wasn't really paying much attention.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I want to ask this question related to the pricing calculator and the cost explorer. So in the situation where we don't hear anything like forecast, right? The question is put that the company wants to see its, want to visualize its cost over time. That is what the question will say. Do we still go with the cost explorer because it just said the cost over time, or in this case, we can look at the pricing calculator?
Is it the discussion we had on the Google last time?
Yeah. So in this case, you did not see forecast, but you just saw over time, cost over time.
And what are the options?
Yeah, so you have pricing calculator, you have the cost explorer, and then you have budget, AWS budget.
So over time,
Yeah.
I think over time, the cost explorer does a better job because it gives you month-on-month analysis for and estimations for up to 12 months. So future estimations for up to 12 months. And I think that's the major difference between that and then the pricing calculator. So
Okay.
the pricing calculator will not be able to forecast for that much, that long a time. The pricing calculator is almost like this month and the next month. Okay, and then you have the history. But for forecasted cost over time, the cost explorer does that.
Okay.
So with the pricing calculator, if you're in February, you can get your estimation for March. But that's not an overtime forecast. I mean an overtime estimation. You get it.
Yeah.
It's thinking it will calculate it as if in February you use this much. In March, if you don't add any more instances or if your data or your locations are steady, you are likely to use this much in this amount in March. It can't tell you that you are likely to use this in April or May or June, but the cost explorer will give you that. So for me, if you see forecasts over time, that would be cost explorer. If it doesn't mention overtime forecast, then you look at the pricing calculator.
Okay. I hope we all understand.
So I wanted to add something.
Okay.
So for how I used to differentiate the two is that when you enter a shop to buy something, what you see there is price, not cost.
Yeah.
It's after you have bought it that you now be charged the cost.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking the cost is what you have already like used, and then like the amount you're supposed to pay, so like over time, and then the pricing calculator will be what you haven't used yet. Like I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah. I
Am I
get it.
correct?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You people,
Sorry.
yeah, that's fine. You people cannot see the hand raised thing. Somebody has raised their hand. Okay, but the person who's talking, you can talk now. You just talk. And guys, you can also use the message, the chat option, right? You can just put in your messages there. I'll look at them and then.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt. I just feel like I should probably ask this quick one.
All right.
So I think was it Asay speaking earlier on? If I'm correct, I think it was Asay speaking earlier on, right?
Yes, that was Asay.
Yeah, I think she mentioned something like the pricing calculator can only give you like pricing or estimates for a month or something like that.
Yeah.
But when you look at the bullet point for I think the screen you shared using the AWS pricing calculator, the last one, then the calculator provides total estimates for the first 12 months, upfront costs and monthly spend.
So, yeah.
So if going by that, I think it would be a little hard to choose if it's the cost explorer or the pricing calculator based on just the months that you can estimate or forecast for.
Yeah, I get it. So yes, I understand. So with the pricing calculator, the keyword we are looking at is estimate, right? And then the pricing calculator does not use previous data. It gives you what you are giving it. The pricing calculator is when, okay, I want to use this, but probably I will use an EC2 instance maybe for a period of an hour per day. And then, all these things, I will use a storage space of this and then that. So you give that information to the pricing calculator, and then the pricing calculator is going to give you the cost for the first 12 months, right? How much you'll be paying for the first 12 months. And then the monthly spend, how much you'll be spending each month. But for Cost Explorer, it uses data that you have used before to tell you how much you might be paying the next month, like per month, or yes, the next month, or the year. You get it? So that's what it says, like the month on month, or year on year. That's what the Cost Explorer does. But the pricing calculator is just to help you estimate your costs. So keywords that we are looking at here is over time, right? You are visualizing your cost over time, and then you are estimating. So the Cost Explorer looks at visualizing your cost over time, or forecast your cost over time. And then the pricing calculator only helps you estimate. Please, is that clear? If not, I say you will have to come in. Okay, so Bridget actually typed that there's nothing to add. Okay, that's fine. Dr. Sebs, your hand is up. Please, are you okay? The one who asked the question. If you are clear, then we'll move on. And please, the hand raise is in the
AC green code. Are you okay?
Okay.
I think it's more clear right now the way you put it. So basically, the Cost Explorer is to forecast your let's say your cost over time.
Exactly.
And the pricing calculator just is to help you estimate probably for your first 12 months based on, like, you give it, this is the services you want to use.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's
Dr. Sebs.
Yeah, so I think you spoke about what I wanted to speak about. I was basically going to just say that the Cost Explorer basically uses past spending behavior, the data taken from past spending behavior, and it identifies trends in that data, and then makes analysis based on that. So, and then the pricing calculator basically works with scenarios you've given it based on certain configurations. That, I think you stated that already. So.
All right. So I found another interesting thing online. So the cloud deployment models. I think you have to come in this one, because I actually searched online, but I didn't get any tangible. So the deployment. So we all know that there's 3, right? But then one of the exam questions asks that you should select the 4 deployment models, the 4 deployment cloud models, and the 4th one was actually community deployment. Community deployment model. So I was trying to find out what it is, right? But I didn't get any tangible stuff. And I think it was part of from the I should have taken a screenshot.
Is it the one where like a community has built up some sort of machine image or something? Which one are you talking about?
No, so the machine image is the where the individuals sell AMIs in the AWS market space, right? But this one, there's a cloud. Yes, there's a cloud community, a community cloud. So that's the deployment model. So something like it's a different organization, but they share resources or something of that sort.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it well. So I say you're about to talk.
Okay, so let's use the ministries as an example.
Okay.
So we have Ministry of Finance, we have Ministry of Health, we have like all the ministries. At a point, some of the duties of the ministries overlap, or in countries where they have centralized databases. Okay. In Africa, we are not really abreast with technology.
Okay.
So you
For the junior dev box, you could jump over to security and become a cloud security engineer. If you
Is your
want
back?
to,
I say, is your
go into
background?
DevSecOps, so the
Tete,
automation
Tete,
of
Tete
security
Michael,
operations,
Tete
you
Michael.
probably want to get a
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I say you can continue.
So the community cloud, let's say the FBI.
Yeah.
The FBI has information about, let's say, literally everyone and everything. So if you have, we have the death registry, we have the death registry, we have telecoms, blah blah blah. All those things feed into a particular central server. Okay, so we
Yeah.
can assume the FBI owns that server. As and when, so let's look at authorization and authentication. You get access to only the information you need to access. So we can say the in the USA, they have FBI, they have the police department, they have CIA. So let's say these three, one of them owns the server. Okay. But each of them use infrastructure that is on that particular. So the three of them combined makes it a community. The community cloud is a private cloud, just as a bigger form of a private cloud.
Okay.
So what they mean by several organizations, in as much as those organizations are separate, they are related in a way. So the central database probably sits with the FBI, but if the CIA needs some form of data, they know they have to go to they are on that infrastructure. But they are different organizations. The FBI is different from the CIA. The CIA is different from the police department. The police department is different from the crime scene investigation department. So it's something like that. Or let's see something like joint, let's say joint business organization. Has anyone used ExpressPay before?
Yes, I use ExpressPay.
So if you've used ExpressPay, there are other services that are also like ExpressPay. I think we have EasyPay, GTPay, like all these pay, whatever.
Yes.
When they look at the cost of spinning up instances in the cloud, maybe server, and they feel that the cost may be too much for them to bear. Since they are all companies that have similar interests or are related in a way, they are related because they are finance companies, they render financial services. They can decide to form like a conglomerate, like so that's what makes them the community. The fact that they are different organizations, but they have something that links them together. There's no anything. It's a private cloud, but different organizations coming together. And they do that because one, cost, data sharing and collaboration. So like I said, the CSI FBI thing is a perfect example. Okay, so there's a central database. Any unit or department in the US that handles crime cases, okay, will go into that particular database to access just what they are authorized to access. If not, the CIA would have needed to have its own database, the FBI will have its own database, the sheriff's department will have its own database. But then if you want to cut down on costs, you pick a central database, you have your private cloud network. So if you're outside of that community, so outside of that group, you won't be able to access any of the resources in that cloud. So that's it, basically.
Okay. So can we also use the Registrar's General Department as an example? So you have the Birth and Death Registry, you have the, what's it called? The company registration department as well. And there is also, is the passport office under the no, yes, I think it's under the Registrar's General Department or something like that. So if they share data amongst themselves, right? Can we term them also as like a private or a community cloud?
So at a point, someone was asking me a question, so I didn't get. Can you come again? I heard something about Registrar General. Are you talking about the sub-unit in the Registrar General?
Yeah, so like the sub-unit under the Registrar's General Department. So I know they have the Birth and Death Registry. Yeah, sorry, yes, the passport office is under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Hakim. Right, so we have the Birth and Death Registry. There is the marriage registration wing under them. There is the is it company or entity registration unit as well, right? So they share data.
Sorry, I think I missed something, or I made a mistake of something. What I said was that one organization owns the server. That's not it. Each organization has their own server they manage, but then the resources are pulled together. So I may need something which the CIA has. The CIA may need an infrastructure that only the other departments. So it's a pool of resources. That's what makes it the community. Now, the Ministry of, they're talking about Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right?
Yeah. No, I was actually talking about the Registrars General.
Registrar General.
Yeah.
The point is, what is an organization? If we understand what we mean by organization, then we'll be able to understand what the community is.
Okay.
Is an organization a whole company by itself, or just a group of? So an organization is a company or an institution or an association. So if we take, you said Registrar General. So what's that's death, the death, and then what?
Yes, Birth and Death. They have entity and they have marriage, the marriage registration unit.
So the marriage is an institution on its own, isn't it? And the Birth and Death is also an institution on its own.
Yes.
Right. So if those two decide to share resources, that's a community cloud.
Oh, okay. So yes, and I think Hakim also made an example of, so let's say the Ministry of Road, right? And the Transport Ministry, right? And then the Ghana Aviation. So these are separate institutions that one way or the other share most likely the same information.
Yeah, they may be linked because they are all government organizations.
Right.
It may not be necessarily that we all are in the same line of business. So if they're a government organization, maybe they can be linked by the fact that everywhere you go, you have to use your Ghana card to verify yourself. You get it? And the Ghana card server sits with the NIA. There may be some information on that particular server that is needed by the Ministry of Roads. You see how it works?
Yeah.
So we share resources, server compute, something like that. So that's how it works.
See.
Okay, so from what I get, it's like a group of entities that are sharing something on a particular network. So some sort of information that is in a group A, and maybe group B needs a bit of that information. Group B also can get it from group A, but then group A can also get something from group B, and the same thing can also be gotten from group C. Then so like just a little bit of everything from everywhere being shared all around. That is on a on probably like a network. So that is a community cloud. Is that what it is?
Yes, I think I feel like per the explanation, I think that is it.
Okay. Okay.
Because I think the Google explanation says that a community cloud is a cloud infrastructure in which multiple organizations share resources and services based on common
So
requirements.
let me use a simple explanation.
All right.
Recently, I don't know, it was even in the news. Ghana got, I think, a tier 3 data center storage. Okay. Now, it's in an off-site location. Off-site means some a place that is not easily accessible by everybody. Now, those servers that were brought, the capacity is so huge that the Ghana Commercial Bank alone cannot afford to pay for all the storage space on that server, on that, let me just use computer, on that computer. Okay, and there are several racks. So racks, so several layers, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5. So you see it as a single machine, but then layer 1 is for GCP, layer 2 is for FNB, layer 3 is for ADB, layer 4 is for Fidelity Bank. So that is community cloud. So it's the same server, but then the storage is so huge that no one company can pay for the amount of storage available. So it's shared. So it's a fraction of the whole. You get it? So on that same computer, you have GCB storing their data there. So they are all banks, right? So it's a data center for banks. So you have GCB storing the information on it, Fidelity storing the information on it, other banks. So the correlation is what they are all banking companies, and they are sharing that particular resource, which is that server, because that storage, the data center it runs 24/7. There will be no interruption to your services. Once the lights go off, you have your generator kicking in. So it's like close to zero downtime. And you want to make use of such a data center, but then you can't pay for the storage only. So that's how the community cloud works like. So it's all about, so they are sharing the resource, which is the server, the storage rack. Okay. And
Okay.
you have
Okay.
all the
Makes
links.
a lot of sense.
So that's how the community cloud is. So I hope all confusions are resolved. So I think the same thing can apply to, is it I think the government of Ghana has a data center. So you realize that when you go in, it is one data center. All the storage, you see big servers stacking their racks there. All the government institutions have their data on that server. They are all sharing the storage space. No one is provisioning a different server there. This one will have their servers here, that one will have their servers there. No. So that's how the whole arrangement is like. So please, I agree with that. Carry on. I'm sure for the advantages and disadvantages of community cloud deployments, you saw them. So please, you can continue and discuss with us.
Mr. R said he's confused. So, Mr. R, in summary, a community cloud is just multiple organizations, right, sharing information based on a common requirement. You get it? Let's just put it that way. So, any question that you might see on the fact that organization A and organization B has a common requirement, maybe they all use your Ghana card number to do something. So they have.
I think a good example is the SNIT. You know how SNIT is now converting your SNIT numbers to your Ghana card numbers.
Ghana
so
card,
your
yeah.
bank, yeah. So I think they're sharing that data. So even if you have just your SNIT, number, and then maybe you have a Ghana card or you haven't switched it yet, you can link those two records and then get to figure out whether they're the same place. So I think that's a good example. So NIE and then SNIT are sharing that information about the clients.
Right.
Sorry, I wanted to raise my hand, but my lips are faster than my hand. So don't get confused when it comes to community cloud. Just think of governmental organizations, educational institutions, churches. So those kind of, we have how are they called? Are they felt? So it's mostly within those organizations, banking, government agencies, security agencies, because they have something in common. That's why I decided to use the FBI, CIA, Interpol, DEA. They all have something in common when they want to find out information about a drug dealer or, uh, you know, they have similar line of work. So that's how community cloud is like. And it's a private cloud. It's not a public cloud. So in as much as their community is still private.
Okay. So in that sense.
And it's a central data center, like what I said, central data center. You have the racks look like how a freezer is those freezers or these freezers that have small storage boxes in them, you can pull them, push them out, something like that. So they're layers. So each layer may belong to an organization. So layer 1 may be for the CIA, layer 2 may be for the FBI, layer 3 may be for the DEA, layer 4 may be for, that's how it is.
But that is just storage sharing, right? That is just infrastructure sharing.
Yeah. Infrastructure sharing.
So what I was referring to was probably just like maybe database sharing, where the share.
Yes, the database is on the infrastructure. The infrastructure is the server. So the database sits on the servers.
Yeah, I totally understand. I'm just trying to like differentiate between the database sharing and the infrastructure sharing. Because what if the infrastructure, like they need the same place? For instance, NIE's data center is located at a different place than where SNIT's data center is, but then they are still sharing the database. How do you
Usually the data center is owned by one entity.
Is it supposed to be owned by one entity? Just said that it can be. You reversed it. You said it was owned by one entity, and then you said no, it's not owned by one entity, but it's like shared resources from different entities.
So
because I totally get to your point, like the sharing of the infrastructure, like the storage, that is just understood. But then I'm trying to also make a point that there's a probability where databases can also be shared and not necessarily at the same data center. I don't know if you get my point.
What you are talking about.
So,
but that's not community. I will say that's not community cloud because if MTN has an API, okay, for using if you want to use Momo, okay. So if I create an application and I need someone to pay via Momo and I use MTN's API, that API will probably be retrieving some data from MTN database, but that does not mean I'm doing community cloud with them.
Cloud, that is the question I was trying to find out, because databases can be using APIs to call the data, and then not necessarily.
That's not what we are talking about here.
Good.
Okay. I hope no one is lost. The MTN thing is very easy. So what he's saying is that if I need to get some sort of data, like we register our SIM card with the Ghana card number, assuming I am an MTN agent who is trying to register your SIM, and you give me your Ghana card number. The fact that if I put in your Ghana card number in a particular application and it's able to display your information. We all know the Ghana card interfaces with NIA. The fact that I'm able to access that information at my end doesn't mean I'm doing community cloud with you. That's a different thing altogether. The community cloud is that you are sharing the infrastructure.
Okay.
And you see,
That
the
makes
reason I didn't want you to use the database is that databases sit on the it's called a data center, meaning that's where the databases sit. They sit on that server. So what I'm talking about is different from what you are talking.
Yeah,
Sharing
yeah.
of
I was
data
just trying to like get the difference because if they from what Kobna read, he said the data set the community cloud is when different entities share resource, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I
So
was asking is
resources,
if they are
when
able
it comes to
use
cloud,
each other's sorry?
so how you can get it easily when it comes to cloud, when you talk about resources, is compute storage,
And
compute
networking.
and storage, and networking. Yes, so those three.
Okay.
So not
Alright.
sharing of data. Sharing of data, then we are going outside of community cloud. But let's just say compute storage networking, then you're talking about community cloud.
Alright. That makes sense. Alright.
Great.
Oh, these people, they didn't bring the questions again. I was trying to search for this the question on the EC2 savings the savings plan, but I'll get it. I'll find a way and get it.
No, we can find it later tomorrow, Carlos.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about AWS organization. So organization is basically you having a consolidating individual AWS account under the same umbrella, right? So that you can share resources and then services among them, and also have a consolidated bill for.
Can you check the chat?
Okay, I've minimized the chat too. I'm coming.
Joshua spoke yesterday. Joshua says in some cases they can also share data.
Okay, wait.
Someone is asking you to share the skills builder link.
Okay, I'll do that. It is Zoom thing. It's a school on its own. I'll share the skill builder link. But first of all, let me try and then
Stop sharing your screen. Stop sharing your screen first, and then do what you want to do and share again.
See, the thing is that I'm not even finding the control. No.
You've gone out of full screen. You're on
What
full screen.
do you want to do? What do you want to do?
So I want to get the control. You see that control thing that comes for Zoom, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not getting it.
Control. Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to use your control?
Press escape. Press escape.
You're on full screen, so press
You
escape.
mean you want to see the
He's on full screen.
Is it working?
I'm on full screen, and I'm suffering like that.
Full screen.
Yes. I've seen it. So what? So somebody asked. So I should check the chat. Please, can you share the link for the skill? Okay. In some cases, they can also share data. Okay, that's the community cloud. So the skill builder link.
Let's clarify this.
Okay.
In some cases, you can share data. If you are sharing the data without sharing resources, you are not doing community cloud.
Okay.
Is this not a resource?
So is data not a resource?
No. We are talking about cloud resources here. Data is a resource, but we are talking about compute networking and storage. If, like the API call, I am calling, there's there's a call and response. You are sharing data, but I'm not sharing resources. I'm not sharing database. I'm not sharing network. I'm not sharing anything with MTN. I'm only getting the response from them because I've plugged in my distance. That's not community cloud. So the premise is that like you are sharing a resource first off, and you are accessing that data because you are sort of in their network. You are within their domain. You've been added as, okay, this particular organization is authorized to be within our network. That's why I'm saying that the community cloud is a private network, first of all.
So it's just down to just compute network and then storage, nothing more than that.
Hello?
Yes.
Joshua.
Yes, so all you said is right. First of all, the data center is owned by one entity. So it's a bit common in Ghana here. So let's say you have a data center being owned by let's say SNIT. Okay. Now, the cost of managing a data center is it's a lot. So some other institutions can partner with SNIT to manage that data center. But it doesn't mean it is their data center. It's for SNIT. That is one. Two, there are rack spaces over there where you can come and put your server in there, making it a community data, a community cloud or a private community sort of. But then for institutions that share common data, like she was mentioning, FBI, CIA, and co. In some cases like that, there is a single database server, which they all share. But there are policies that determine what you can access on that database server. So assuming there's a database server of like Ghanaian citizens, it won't make sense for maybe the army or immigration to build their own database server. There can be a singular database server which all the security agencies can access data from. But then the policies will determine what you can access. I hope
okay, so in that case, is without those entities having an infrastructure like an data center there, which they all share, if they only share data from that particular database, is it termed as a cloud, a community cloud?
So everything, the database, the resources, everything sits on one person's premises. And they all pick from there. So let's pick, for example, the Ghanaian government. There is one data center, which they are all sharing. Immigration, their servers are in that data center. Army, that same data center, everything that's in that data center. And they can have one dedicated server as a database server where they get data on Ghanaian citizens. So they can share hardware and the data also. It's not limited to just hardware.
That's where I want to.
When it comes to the data, there is isolation. And
so
policies
that
determines what
is that termed as a community cloud if they are only sharing data, like data a database, and multiple entities are sharing that database, is that termed as a community cloud?
Yes, if that one database is sitting on one person's premises.
Okay.
And they are all accessing that database server and that data, then it's a community cloud. But you know, community cloud, they pull resources together. Maybe you pay an amount, then we all put together to pay electricity bills or buy fuel to power our generators, service our generators, and maintain their place.
Okay.
So
in
they
short,
pull resources together. Yeah.
So what's the difference between the JVIVE system? So the JVIVE system is the system where banks use to access, client or to verify clients' IDs. Basically, to verify voters' ID and I think passports. There's a GVIVE system where banks are able to access to verify when a client
That one is a
produces.
service.
No, I'm just trying to put a scenario.
It's a service the banks are like utilizing. I don't know if they pay for it.
Yes, so but the banks don't own it.
It's a subscription.
It's the banks
It's
don't.
a subscription, but the banks don't own it.
Yes,
they apply for it.
It's a software as a service platform. So just see it as that. It's a software as a service. It's not a cloud deployment model.
You see the data center where that data is sitting. The banks.
No, hold on. Let me finish the question.
Okay.
So I'm saying that looking at that scenario, right, and looking at the system where currently we have NIA being the place where all the Ghanaian citizens have their Ghana card sitting at their data center, and there's an API for all banks to be able to access that information to verify when a client comes in with a Ghana card, to verify whether the Ghana card is correct or not. Would you say these two systems or these two scenarios, which one constitutes the community cloud system?
So
because at the end of the day, you say it's a software as a service, all right, where they are paying subscriptions. But these subscriptions, someone can say that, okay, yeah, we are all contributing to make sure that the server for GVIVE is running smoothly. Hence, we are paying for it. Here is the case where NIA will also charge you to be able to have access to these informations, and there's policy to it. So not anyone can go to NIA and say, I want to be able to access or have my API connect to your server.
So in cases like this, with the community cloud, from my experience, all the people who are sharing that data center, they have some sort of access. You can go there and do some work in the data center. But where the banks get the data from, or where they verify their data from, the banks do not have access to that data. Or the data center where that data sits.
You see, that's why I don't want us to use just the data. More like, are you within your cloud environment? If you don't have network access to your environment, it's not community cloud. You are just accessing
exactly
data. So it's software as a service. They are providing a software and you are paying. We are not for GVIVE. We are not concerned about where they store their data. If GVIVE is sharing.
Yes. So for the banks, they are paying for the people to make profit. I'm rendering a service. Yes. You pay, I make profit. But community, we are pulling resources to pay for the cost we are incurring to manage the data center. You understand? But the system the banks is to verify whatever. You will pay for it. It comes at a cost.
Okay, so I think from what everybody has said, it looks like the entities have to all be have some sort of resource at that particular data center for it to be a cloud, a community cloud, right?
Hello.
Can everybody hear?
Yeah, we need an answer.
Because I'm asking the question, everybody. I'm asking if the entities in the community cloud, all of them have to have a particular. The examples they will give, we just have to come to a particular, understanding. All the entities in the community cloud have to have some sort of
connection
to that data center. They have to have something there, like a server or something there at that particular data center for it to be a community cloud.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's all.
Joshua, please, if you have anything to say, he's the networking expert. So please,
hello,
crown it for us.
Hello.
Yes, David.
Yeah. Good evening, guys.
All right. Good evening.
Unfortunately, I was late. I just joined, and then I don't know if it will be
okay, if you guys tell me the topic of contention right now. So
okay, so we are looking at community cloud. We are just trying to explain community cloud. So we just found out that the cloud deployment models, aside the usual three that we have, there is also a community cloud deployment. So we are just trying to understand.
Okay, so I had someone saying that I think, okay, community cloud is just like co-location. I don't know if you guys have had co-location.
Yeah.
So per what the other person was trying to explain, he was talking about co-location. So just like the National Data Center, the Ministry of Communication, what they do is that they have a data center, they have the facility. So those times, even currently, the NIA data sits in that place. They don't have it on their premises. Do you understand? So they have a rack. They allocate a space for them. They have a rack. They have a cabinet where they bring their servers in there and put their servers in there. So all their data is on that server. It's a big space. I was working there before. It's a very big space. So you have businesses. Some of these banks, their data is there. So if you enter the data center, there's a rack. So when you come, they will release the rack to you. So you pay for the rack space. If it's 2U that you are paying for, if your server is 2U, 3U. The U just means that the number of space that you occupy in the rack. So if your server is occupying four spaces, it's called U. So it's 4U. We'll bill you for 4 spaces. That is 4U. So you put your server there. And then the facility, which is the National Data Center, NITA, they provide all the other hardware that you need. The cooling, the electricity, the space, the hardware, all the other hardware that you need to access your data from that server is put there. Every other person have their space in there. So there are a lot of businesses, almost all the government agencies, the passport office, the NIA, some of the banks, MFDA, police headquarters, National Fire Service, even the presidency, the Ministry of Communication, all their data reside there. So when you are there, you see most of the time these businesses they come to access their server, do configurations, updates, put some of the data on it, and then they go back. That is co-location. It's a big space, and then everybody has their space. A little small rack where you put your server.
Are you saying co-location is community cloud?
I wouldn't want to. I'm trying to explain what the other guy was saying. That he was actually trying to explain co-location rather than community cloud, because community cloud is more of an effort. Like, let's say 2 business or 5 businesses come together and say we are going to build a data center. We are going to share the cost. We are going to pay for all the facility. Like, we'll pay for the facility, we pay for the cooling system, for the electricity, and then we'll share the space. And every other cost that comes with that, the running of that facility. Let's say if it's 5 businesses, they pay for that. That is community cloud.
Okay. So what's the difference between the co-location and the community cloud is that the co-location, the place belongs to the government of Ghana.
Yes, or maybe another entity. Let's say AWS right now. They have a server, they have a data center in Ghana. So they say they are renting out the spaces or the racks. So you bring your own server and come and put it there.
So is that co-location or community cloud?
That's co-location. The community cloud, as I understand it, is that I was explaining. Let's say 4 of us, yeah, we all run our businesses and we want to put the data somewhere. So we come together and then we pay for the security of the place, we pay for the cooling of the place, we pay for electricity, and then we put, let's say we put one big server there, a server there. So all of us can have access to that server, but we have policies that restrict each of us from accessing each other's data.
So
That's
per what
cloud
you're saying, community cloud is when it is owned by several entities. But
yes.
co-location is when the entity is owned by one person but shared by different entities.
And then they
Different
rent
people.
it out. They lease the space out to
Okay.
the general public.
Joshua, I say, what are you going to say?
Dr. Seps, you did they laugh.
When you are talking about the servers and all that, you know that the cloud, I would even argue that AWS is a community cloud because AWS is a big community on its own, but you have several organizations kind of renting out space. So the whole AWS module, the whole thing there is a community cloud. So see that because when we keep talking about servers and we are talking about on-premises, but here we are talking about cloud computing. So the reason why the servers belong to one entity is because they are behaving sort of like how AWS is behaving. So they own the storage, they own the physical servers. But then if you are an organization, there's the part where you come and rent server space and host your own servers and all that. But then we are not talking about the on-prem infrastructure. We're not talking about the physical devices. We are talking about the cloud computing model. So see it that way.
I see. Just confusing me again.
I'm confusing you.
Yeah, you just accidentally confusing me again. So from what David just said that co-location is when one person owns the data center like AWS. So AWS is actually doing co-location
co-location exactly.
Instead of community cloud because it's only AWS that owns what they are giving out. But community cloud is when Aseye, Prince, Kwabna, Joshua, David come together. We all pay for the land, pay for everything, and then we are sharing the payments of that particular cloud, which is not on our premises. It is on a different place, okay, and we are all accessing it like a cloud. So that is the community cloud.
So let's understand it from this perspective. Community cloud, you can understand it from two different angles. Like what I was saying, like you're saying just now. Although we may have all these things in one place, it has to be guided by a policy. Or let's say we are all let's say the security agencies, immigration, fire service, and then all the security agencies, armed forces, police, they all have to access a particular data. So let's say these institutions, they are guided by a particular policy, a jurisdiction, maybe jurisdiction and compliance and some other things. So all those people will come together and have a cloud service that they all access from. Do you understand? Fine. It can be that both all these people build the center by themselves and pay for all those services. Also, they can still have that cloud community in the co-location space, whereby the policies, there's a particular policies that governs that data that they all access. I don't know if you understand it.
Then you have spelled the thing.
So I think I'm trying to understand it. So let's put it this way. So when it comes to cost, right, with the community cloud, if a 1 hour usage will cost $100, if we are 5 people using, let's say, we are sharing that cost of $100. But with co-location, you are paying your $100 per your usage. So for co-location, 5 people are going to pay $500. But with a community cloud, the 5 people are going to share the $100 among themselves. Is that what it is?
Yes, but it's not only the cost.
Hello, guys.
So I think Gerald shared something in the chat. So it's an example. So I think we should look at that.
Yes, yes, Gerald has just shared something.
Hello.
Yes.
Can someone read it out?
Yeah. Good evening. I think we're overthinking this whole cloud, the community thing. I think for me, I think the whole community cloud thing is basically saying that, for instance, we have AWS infrastructure. So it's just a group of people coming together to say, let's say work in different institutions, but we have a particular specification that we're looking for. Let's say we want an infrastructure which has a processing speed of X, or we want an infrastructure which has a storage capacity of X. So we say, you know what, we don't want to be on a public cloud because perhaps it's prone to hacking or whatever it is. So because we are, let's say, 5 firms, let's come together, put resources together, because just me, I can't probably fund that an infrastructure of that scope. So let's put resources together and build an infrastructure or a storage. In this case, let me use a storage system.
Right.
And then 5 companies put them, let's say the money is going to cost us $1 million. We put the money together and have that infrastructure somewhere. It can be on my premises, can be on a different location. And all of us will have like a compartment in that storage server, or let's say a password to enter the server, such that if I want data, I can enter the same system, but I have my own compartment. It's like having a computer and having several users. So you can have user A, user B, user C, and we all access the same system. Let me even break it down. Let's say you have a laptop and you have several siblings. So everybody has their own user. So you have Daniel, you have Kweku, you have whoever, but it's the same infrastructure or the same laptop they're using. That's basically what the community cloud is about. The co-location that we're talking about is just like these market women would go to the market. We all sell. At the end of the day, we need somewhere to put our goods. Someone has a warehouse. So we say, okay, this is the warehouse. Let's all go and put our things in that warehouse. However, what it means is that I'm paying for, let's say, the slot I'm using. So there are several stores inside that warehouse. So per day, I'll charge you X amount. And then I put my thing there. The difference is that for the warehouses, for, let's say, it's for just one person. And then everybody is paying a portion to put their stuff in there, and then they go and take their stuff. Right. As compared to the community cloud, which is for all of us, and then we all have like a slot in that space. I don't know if it makes it clear, any clearer.
Yeah, that's basically what we said all this while.
All this while.
So let's just end this here. We are stretching it. Let's just end.
Yeah, we're just stressing. I think we're just stressing the point, but that's how basic it is. Like that's
when I try to stop it, then they give another scenario. So yes, I don't know. Let's just continue.
Yes, all the CBAWS way anyway. So yes, so Prince, this is a question on the instant saving thing, right? So it's like you make an hourly spend commitment that, okay, for an hour, this is what I'll commit to, or this is what I'll pay for. But it means that you have to continuously pay that amount for a year, right? Or 3 years term. And the reserve is like, okay, reserve this for me. Okay, so if you are reserving for 1 year, we'll give you a discount of this. But this means that whether you use it or you don't use it, we are still going to charge you for the number of hours in that period of a year. So that's basically about that. I think time is fast. Yeah, time is fast spent, all right?
Yes.
But let's just look at or we should just end it here and continue tomorrow, because the economics of billing, I think it's plenty. We have the organizations, billing and then cost management, and then the technical support, the various technical support. So we are left with 3 topics to finish with the economics and billing. So if we should.
So guys, should we finish or should we continue?
Hello guys, please I have a question. I'd like to post it in the chat.
Okay. Okay, let me check the chat.
And ask the question quickly.
Hey, the question plenty.
All right, so it's a question I think I saw in the exam topics.
Okay, so let me see.
Exam topics. So.
A large company has multiple departments. Each department has its own this one is AWS organizations.
That was what I was
this
thinking.
I think we've all answered it before. I think we've answered it on the group before.
Yeah, we've answered it before. So the company needs to manage the AWS accounts for all the departments so that the department can share the reserved instances. Which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet this requirement? Yes, that's organizations, because it's about account.
Yeah, I was thinking organizations as well, but the answer I think they picked here was Cost Explorer. So I was
Yeah. There's a, I think Kwabena posted that thing on the group that the most voted was actually organizations, but then the exam topics answer was Cost Explorer. So there was a whole argument under that particular question under exam topics. Yeah, I saw that thing.
Yes, they argued. Somebody would.
They argued. So the answer there is organizations.
The organizations. Right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to be sure I wasn't the only person. Like
Charlie, we beat one of these.
This question is we argue on plenty.
Elasticity and scalability. Charlie.
Okay. So so should we do just finish organizations and then we just hold on for tomorrow?
Let's do it tomorrow.
All right, sure.
It's almost 11.
Yeah, it's almost 11, so that people go feed.
The question that you showed just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Have we been answered?
Yeah, so I explained earlier about we wanted to have a use case, right? So that was basically the question.
What was the answer? Because I think it is dedicated.
Hey, which way?
You see, you.
Charlie, that question there, it be tricky.
Where is it?
So,
hey, So this is it. So he said which Amazon EC2 pricing option? So we are looking at an EC2 pricing option, right? That reduces cost when a business makes an hourly spend commitment to an instant.
So that's the keyword.
Makes an hourly spend commitment to an instance, family, and region for a 1 year or a 3 year term. And you see, if you don't, so if you don't take and you just look at 1 year or 3 year term, you are tempted to choose reserved, right?
Yeah. So the hourly spending commitment would have to change the answer.
Yes. So
commitment. Commitment is the word, not hourly. Commitment. So even if it's for 30 minutes, your commitment is 30 minutes for a period. Every day you are going to use 30 minutes. So you can reserve for 30 minutes for a period of 1 to 3 years. That's how the reserved instance works.
So what's the answer? What do you think is the answer?
It's reserved.
Reserve.
No, this is an instance savings. Reserve plans.
Yes. You see, so
I myself also got pricing option.
Yes.
Pricing option.
So I think
reserve instances are. Yeah, but I need to reserve instances.
Like answer the question and let's see whether the answer is correct or not.
Should that be the correct answer? So listen. So this is the explanation for. Let's look at the explanation for reserved instance. This is actually from Scale Builder. So this is from AWS, right? So the reserved instance are a billing discount that is applied to the use of on-demand instances in an AWS account. A business can purchase. So you can purchase a standard reserved and convertible reserved instance for a 1 year or a 3 year term. Now, unlike EC2 instance savings plans, reserved instance do not require an hourly spend commitment over the duration of the contract term.
Okay.
But the standard and convertible are not the only reserved instance plans. There is the one, what is that one even called? Where it's short durations, like even an hour or something.
Is it a spot instance?
And it was in their own documentation. But it's not spot instance.
No, it's not spot instance. That one day you bid, and then when it comes alive, you get it.
There is the standard reserve, the convertible, and there's a third one. And that one is for short periods. So you don't need to reserve the instance for like 24 hours. is for a short.
Now scroll down, let's see what the other ones are saying.
On demand.
Jason, talk. Why you get cooled or something? We are chatting. Why?
His mouth slept.
You see, sports instances are ideal for workloads with flexible start and end times, or that can withstand interruptions. And so sports instance there, and you know the inside car. But Arokan, you were saying dedicated, right? Dedicated hosts are physical servers with EC2 instance capacity that is fully dedicated to a single customer. The single customer be the how do they call themselves? The keywords if you look for the question inside. So a business can use existing per sockets, per core, or per VM software licenses to help maintain license compliance. A business can purchase on-demand dedicated host or reserve dedicated hosts. Of all the Amazon EC2 options that were covered in this course, dedicated hosts are the most expensive.
Okay.
So that one says the cost alone, that question, they come with dedicated host. So dedicated host, I realize it's very expensive. So unless it's very, very needed, then you do the dedicated host. But if you want to save costs, that one is even out of the answers.
Yeah. So the confusion was in between the reserved and the answer that we chose. The correct answer, yes.
Yeah.
That's what the confusion was because of the 1 and 3 year thing. And also, when you go up, back to the question, scroll up.
But the reserved instance, no, they give you commitment. You need to do any commitment. Do you do commitment in reserved instance?
So the hourly is what will determine the answer instead of the 1 year or 3 year term. So the hourly is what makes it the instant saving plan.
Yeah, the hourly commitments. If you add the commitments to it, because the reserved instances, I don't think there's any commitments to it, is there?
Okay, so what if the commitment was maybe a year, 1 year commitment? It will change to the reserved.
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
These are my two cents on it. So I think the difference between the EC2 instance savings and the reserved instances is just a slight difference. The EC2 instance, for that one, you're saying I still want the same duration, that's for a year or three years. However, for this one, I'm telling you that I'll use, let's say, 1 hour each day. As compared to the reserved instance where I'm saying I want 1 to 3 years, but I can't tell you how many I'll use in a day. So what it means is that with the EC2 is a bit cheaper than a reserved instance because that one you are telling them that every day I'll use 1 hour, so they can really gauge how much you're going to use. So it's like you're making it more specific as compared to the reserved instance, like a blank check. You can't confirm how long you're going to use the system for.
Yeah,
that's what makes the EC2 instance more cheaper than the reserved instance.
So that's why I'm saying let's highlight the hour, not the commitment, because if the commitment changed to a year, you can't. It's going to change. The answer is going to change. That means the person is going to use it constantly for a whole year.
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
So I wanted to add a little bit to the what my gentleman just said right now. So I think with this option, because you are specifying that you would want to continue using the EC2, they have a special package for the EC2 instance. Assume maybe you were going to run a different instance or different service. Maybe that would have been too broad. I don't know if you're getting me. But with this one, if you're specifying, and the question is specifying to the EC2 instance, not a different instance. So I think that's where they have like a different, like a special package just for that service. I don't know if you follow me.
Okay, so you're saying, Jason, per what you're saying the reserved instance, it can be for any other instance apart from EC2.
Yes, I think yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Because for this one, it is limited for this. It's like a different it's like a specific package just for this one.
Just for the
Because
EC2 instance.
exactly. Maybe if it was for different, maybe you wanted to switch to
So
a
if the
different
question didn't have the word EC2 in there, then the answer would have changed for you. Is that what you're saying, Jason?
for the hourly, yes. It would have probably, or it would have maybe been like the reserved instance.
Reserved
It
instance.
would have
Okay.
changed for different service. I don't know if you're getting what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I get you.
That is my little 2 cents to this, because I read the whole question and that's what I understood by this. I will do more further research into it, but from my understanding, this is what makes the most sense to me.
Because the question actually says EC2. Which EC2
pricing option?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's not like,
I think from
you're switching to a different service or different, you get it, because there's a bunch of services.
Yeah, I think from what Kobina just shared from the documentation itself, from the savings plans, I think if you can go back to that side. Yeah, so when you read the documentation so it says make an hourly spend commitment to an instance. So I think it's very specific. The hourly spend. So
exactly. It's
so
limiting
it's very specific. It's limiting you to
use.
Yeah, so that's the
An instance
documentation on that
family
service.
and region for 1 or 3
So,
years.
so I think anywhere you see an hourly spend commitment, it should be the EC2 instance service.
Yeah, so if it's more than hourly, what
then
happens?
it might be something. It might be something else, but
Might
specifically
even
for
be serverless lambda or something, because it's not been, you get it, it's not restricted to one service. Maybe you could be like, I'm not going to use EC2 in my next instance. Maybe I might be frying up a different, you get it, because there's a bunch of them, several varieties for you to choose from. You don't need to be limited to.
Okay, so the answer is solved. No. Time out.
I don't know if I'm making sense, but like.
Oh yeah. It's actually making sense.
Okay.
There's some things in the chat. Let's see.
Any more? Next question.
So
hey, you know one sleep.
Like some of us, we have insomnia. We don't sleep. We sleep for just 2 hours.
Okay, so officially, the meeting has ended. If you want to stay back,
yes, you can
stay back to solve questions. Then
that's
you can
fine.
stay back.
So let's go to pricing questions, billing and pricing.
All right. So thank everybody for joining. Officially, we have closed.
All right. So I'll stop the recording. Right. So that
Don't stop it.
Okay.
Can you kindly share the link to please don't forget
the skill builder. All right.
Yeah, the skill builder. Share for the WhatsApp for the group talk.
So you can also try your hands on the question.
Because next we go in the skill builder and no reading and videos.
With this one, you have to go through the whole modules again. There are also 10 modules. Yeah, but I'll share another one with you that you can.
So if you don't go through, you don't get access to the questions.
No, you can just skip them, but there are quiz questions that you have to answer in order to move.
No problem. So we'll solve those questions like
share that one, or share the link.
Yeah, so I'll share all of them. So the first one is this one.
Hey, make people go sleep. Nobody has gone to sleep. You see how people.
But some are already asleep. They've left the phone somewhere there.
And they are well. Okay, so I think I've solved 5 questions on this one. So let's just continue this one.
Okay.
So let me increase the size. So this one's safe. Let me cheap. Which version? Controls.
So with this one.
You learn outside LSE.
So it is obviously. You say which VPC component controls inbound and outbound
traffic, right?
Amazon is
Yeah.
instances.
Yeah.
It is not a subnet. It's definitely not a subnet. It is not
Right.
an internet gateway because internet gateway just takes you to the internet.
Internet,
And
right?
then network access control list is just to give users who can access it. So obviously it's a security group.
No, so
No, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
I think
Wait, so
it should be an internet gateway.
yes, no, so let's look at this. We are
Inbound
looking
and
at
outbound.
we are looking at a component that controls inbound and outbound traffic, right? Now,
So
the security groups and the network access control list controls inbound and outbound traffic,
Outbound traffic.
right? Now we are looking at for Amazon EC2 instances. So we look at which one works at which level. Network access control list works at the subnet level, and security groups work at the instance level. So the answer is security group.
Thank you very much. If you think it's internet gateway, then let's wait for the insight.
They wait for us outside.
Click the next. Let's see if it's correct.
So that's security group. So this is it. So it's a virtual firewall that controls inbound and outbound traffic at subnet level. So that's for the access control list, right? And then the security group, by default, security group denied all in and out, but what's it called? Controls inbound and outbound traffic for an Amazon EC2 instance. So
that's the internet gateway.
All right. So those of you who are thinking it's internet gateway. Internet gateway is a connection between a VPC and the internet. It allows public traffic.
What you put unit like that, no?
Is it?
What you put unit like that, no?
Okay, I think I
Internet gateway will be the only wrong answer I did there.
Julie say what?
You say why we did the internet gateway top like that, but it don't be the only wrong answer.
We don't see stuff. You know, we feel like if we arrow kind it talk the internet gateway.
I beg you. If you see a laptop.
Is that what you think it's okay?
Okay, so let's move.
So the internet gateway is a connection. It's I don't see.
Yeah, so it's just a connection between the VPC and the internet. It connects the VPC to the internet. That's what you said.
Okay.
So which service runs containerized applications on AWS?
I say with the simple cry.
If you what?
Kubernetes.
All right,
Kubernetes, yeah.
So
Kubernetes.
If you think it's SageMaker,
if you think it's Redshift, you have to go and sleep outside.
All right, so okay. So which statement is true for AWS Lambda? So to use AWS Lambda, business must configure the servers that run their code.
The thing you learn and then you forget.
Before using
Lambda, a business must prepay for their estimated compute time.
Right.
Businesses pay only for compute time while their code is running. The first step is using AWS Lambda is provisioning a server. Oh, Charlie, it's a simple question. If this was someone who go get there,
wait,
like we go get.
Who know they understand? That be the thing. We will get these kind of questions too.
Yeah, I bet who know they understand.
So that we'll do elimination. We'll start doing elimination.
Yes, I know they understand.
Okay, great.
Pay only for compute.
Okay, so first, let's look at we are coming to eliminate the wrong answers. So business must configure the servers that run their code. Now, Lambda in itself is a platform as a service, right? So
software.
It's a software as a service, right? So
platform. Platform. Sorry, platform.
Yes, it's a platform, right? So you don't configure.
Prince, keep quiet there.
I'm sorry.
So you don't configure the underlying server, right? You just go there and then use it, right? Now, this one says that before using AWS Lambda, a business must prepay for their estimated compute time. Now, this defeats AWS preposition or proposition, right? You don't do any upfront payment. And then 2, estimated compute time. You don't guess capacity, right? So this one also defeats AWS preposition. Now, let's skip to the last one.
Why are you skipping that one? Why are you skipping that one?
We are eliminating the wrong answers. Now, the first step in using AWS Lambda is provisioning a server. So this one is definitely the same as the first answer. Yes, that is a shorter sentence. So this leaves just this one. And we understand that for AWS Lambda, you only pay for the compute time, right? Yes, the time that your code runs is what you pay for. So
this thing is interesting. You know, as I read the answer, the Hispanic guy from the video, my brain just went to when he was saying it.
That's the reason why you're supposed to watch the
guy with the
video.
Hispanic accent.
Yeah. That guy. Yeah.
He said it, and the thing just came. I just saw him in my mind saying it and repeating it.
Yeah, maybe
that's how come. Meanwhile, I've forgotten what Lambda cry is.
Charlie,
the services there, you go hard to memorize it. Plenty. If you look at the exam guide there, the scope, like the services that is in the scope of the cloud practitioner, I look at it and say, hey. But once there. Anyway. Okay. So, which support plans include access to all trusted advisor checks? We are selecting 2.
What I hate is the multiple choice questions.
So this is a multiple response.
Multiple response. So the plans are okay. So trusted advisor, it be basic pay we no get.
Exactly. But we are selecting 2. We are selecting
the free tier. The free tier.
So basic no day, free tier no day. So we are left between developer, business, and enterprise. Now, enterprise, for that one, I'm sure, because enterprise has all the benefits, right?
Which support plans include access to all AWS trusted?
Charlie.
This question.
So enterprise has all the benefit or support plans that has the majority of them.
In a question like this, you just have to arrange them by the payment that they pay. So
exactly.
Which one be first, free tier or basic?
Free tier be first.
So free tier, basic, developer, business and enterprise. So you choose the last 2.
So so we choose business and enterprise. Clap for Prince. Okay, so they didn't even give you explanations for the correct ones.
Is it the basic and developer support plans provide access to a limited selection of the trusted advice? Okay.
So the keyword here is all. All trusted advisor checks. I see. Okay. So which AWS trusted advisor category includes checks for high utilization EC2 instances?
Abdul, answer this one.
Cost optimization.
Where? Who said cost of? Go home.
No, I'm mentioning. No, relax. I'm mentioning the answer to cost optimization.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Hey.
Abdul say you bet that guy in the type. Answer the question.
Abdul, come answer that thing. Okay, Abdul. Okay, Judith.
Fault tolerance.
Judith said fault tolerance.
Performance.
Okay, so let's look at high utilization.
High utilization performance. Yeah.
Okay.
Judith, come and explain why you are saying it is fault tolerance.
Judith is shy. You can type.
Judith, I'm sure say by now Nkiri's sleep, so she no one disturb them.
Yeah. Anyway.
Charlie, those who can't speak English, you guys should apply as English being your second language, so that you get more time.
Okay, so Judith said I didn't read the question well. Okay, so
Judith.
that's
These are the
fine.
kind of things people say after the exam.
So this brings me to what I was saying earlier before we started. That let's try and then read the questions.
Charlie?
Yes, and one more thing too, guys. After the question, you see select two, select three. Sometimes you forget, you rush and go select one and you submit, then it is wrong. Hey,
yes.
If some do me, I cry because I pay me. I don't go lie you.
Charlie. So let us pay attention to those ones. I think
the ones that you choose 2 and 3, they are check boxes.
Yeah.
Check boxes, yes.
And there are 5. There are 5 possible answers.
Answers.
Yes, for the multiple response, there are 5, and then the ones that you are supposed to select one, there are 4.
If time day or top, sometimes you do go watch. If you do go watch, you see the correct answer, then you go click and then submit.
Oh, Charlie,
exactly.
Plenty time, man.
Charlie.
1 hour 30 minutes there, Charlie, for 65 questions. Yeah, Moku spend time then. Read the question because selecting the answer takes just a few seconds. So understanding the questions be the thing.
Sometimes you have to use even grammar on one side. Some question like the one in front of us.
Grammar.
All right. So, okay, performance. We are correct. All right. So fault tolerance is to help improve an application's availability and redundancy.
That's the word, redundancy.
Right. So 11. A cloud engineer is running an Amazon EC2 instance and wants to store data in an attached source. So one keyword here is what? Attached resource. Sorry, in an attached resource. Now, their data is temporary and will not be kept long term. Which resource should they use? So it's an EC2 instance. EC2 instance, store data, attach resource, and then temporary. Right.
Instance store.
Great. Anybody who disagrees, and then we'll explain.
Are you sure it's instance store?
Yes, it's instance store. It's instance
store.
If it was long term, it would have been EBS.
Right.
Are you sure? If it's long term, it's EBS.
No, S3 rather.
Hey, no. Don't confuse.
Long term is S3. S3 is for
attach resource.
Attach resource.
Okay.
resource.
EBS.
You can't attach an S3 bucket to an EC2 instance. And then subnet there is out of context.
So submit it.
Okay, clap for him.
Pa.
All right, so which pillar of the AWS well architect and Charlie, this well architected framework?
Charlie. Module 9.
Good architect, bad architect.
Module 9. Like if you watch and finish, for watch them again.
You don't catch there. We have the storage.
So it says focuses on using computing resources in ways that meet system requirements.
Operational excellence.
Hey, are you sure? Computing resources in ways that meet system requirements. Are you sure it's operational excellence?
Yeah.
So that's well architected.
Performance.
Hey, Judith answer. Judith, this one, did you read it well?
You did say performance efficiency.
Ways that meet system requirements.
Okay, so now we have.
Oh, who does I sign it in top?
Who does I sign my top? Hey, who that?
The find the bed in the bag.
Hey, the best to go home.
Where are you, a cow? You go there unless you clean them.
How I go clean it?
Say, do you think it is? Abdul said, do you think it is?
Oh,
Hey, Abdul. Oh, that's still there, right? Jason. Who be Jason?
It be Jason.
Yes.
No. I did try clean them. I did try clean them.
No, the person.
You can be the
How
person.
you go fit clean them? The person you do and we go fit clean them.
Yeah. So ask me, I try. That be why the red come.
The red come. Okay. The red.
I clean my own. Yeah.
Hey.
Did you give disclaimer? Why? In boy sleep already.
What about the big boy? The first boy.
Okay, let me disable annotation for. So I disabled annotation. Nobody go feel right again.
Let's go on.
That's all. Let's go on.
Okay, so which one are we selecting?
I'll go for operational excellence.
Performance efficiency.
They go for the second one.
Operational excellence. So we have two answers for both.
Yeah. So select one and let's see.
It is performance efficiency.
It is me. I think it's performance efficiency.
Okay, majority. Let's go. Correct. We are chat. Clap for yourself.
So who said the operational excellence? Come and explain yourself.
Yes.
Come and beat me. I said it. Me, I'm at model. Why?
So let's read them. Its operational excellence pillar includes the ability to run workloads effectively, gain insights into their operations, and continuously improve supporting processes to deliver business value. So the keyword I read from that module 9 NBC. Once I see deliver business value from learning from the past, then say the operational excellence.
Excellent.
So operational excellence is just learning from the past, from like your past mistakes and using it to develop like a better delivery for your business.
Right.
So I think the difference here probably is these two keywords: efficiently and effectively. Even though they are similar, but
but this one performance is basically to do with like for the
hardware, right?
Yeah, like system requirements. The system should be working. Just to meet system requirements, it means you are performing properly. But if you are looking to deliver a good business value based on past mistakes like that you have learned from, then it is operational excellence.
Okay.
The module 9 there, if you don't learn them like that, you go do you.
I swear.
The ability to run workloads.
Next.
All right, next. Somebody, the person you write that thing for Lasham. So which tasks are the responsibilities of AWS? Right. So configuring AWS infrastructure devices, training company employees on how to use AWS services, creating IAM users and groups, configuring security groups on Amazon EC2 instances, and then maintaining virtualization infrastructure.
First and last, that's right.
The person will say first and last. If you say you did model 1,
Crack for you.
I did model 6.
Is it a storage, Joe?
Okay. Good. Clap for him. Yeah, other three responses are the tasks, yes, for the customers. Okay. So which component or service establishes a dedicated private connection? Another one. On an on-premises data center and a virtual private cloud VPC. Now we have virtual private gateway, Amazon CloudFront, Internet Gateway, AWS Direct Connect.
Hey, you say what? What is the CloudFront?
Last one.
Hey, who say that thing with it? Who say that thing with him like that?
You know that thing.
You see him before.
Talk that thing with him, man.
I mean, that's connect where we learn for me. I know the guy.
Oh, it be that guy now he talk. One of the Hispanic guys now he talk that.
The way he talk,
After they talk now, they bet.
Then go watch them again.
So yes, on the networking model, no, that'd be model 5, eh?
Yeah,
that'd be model 5, yeah.
Next.
They send messages.
Hey. Let's connect now. I say you be explaining be voice notes 11 minutes.
All right. So which tool provides the capability to visual? Oh, nice. Visualize, understand, and manage AWS cost and usage over time.
Over time.
Calculator and Explorer.
Over time.
The Explorer.
The Explorer. So we are looking at usage.
Which two? Sorry, Explorer. I thought
you
understand? You manage.
Hey, who that? Go home.
It's not the grammar. You visualize. You understand?
You know you see that too. You say which two?
I figure they say which two. I say two. You go select two.
This one there.
Allow.
Beg.
Okay, and to us this one. So which service builds the workflows that are required for human review of machine learning prediction? So you see, this one will be part of the cloud practitioner questions. But
when they bring that, like, the modules inside.
But the modules inside. So that be just one thing that I fear.
Which service builds the workflows that are required for human review of machine learning predictions? Amazon Lex, Amazon Textract, Amazon Augmented AI, Aurora.
So Aurora is out.
No.
Aurora is for, I think, database purposes, right? So that one is out.
Yeah.
Lex, I know is for chatbots. What's it called? Applications. So something like that was what was born out from Alexa. Now, Textract is also kind of an AI transcribing service, something of that sort. So I'm looking at
augmented AI.
Yes, augmented AI.
But me, if I didn't know any of these things, I just like AI inside the answers. Because something
honestly,
because there is machine learning there.
There's machine learning predictions inside there. I also like the AI.
I'll go with Textract.
Anything AI, they go with machine learning.
That be all.
They go hand in hand. So see AI, see machine learning. No.
Somebody say Textract. Who tell you Textract? David.
I talk Textract. It's a review of
the way the Americans they like to name things. It always gives you names. Look at Amazon Lex. It's like Alexa.
Exactly.
So you know it's this AI bot thing. The Textract.
I think it's Textract.
You see?
You think they do a lot or
this one there. We will know.
Because
select one.
Prediction.
Because for me, I'm also looking at build workflows, right? And we are looking at machine learning prediction.
Okay, let me say something.
All
right. So I think, like you said, the Amazon Lex is for chatbots, like Amazon's version of ChatGPT kind of. You can actually chat. Then Amazon Augmented AI. Augmented AI is just like if you see this VR set, like you can visualize.
No, that's augmented.
No, that's virtual. That's different. Virtual is different from augmented.
We get
VR.
We get VR. We get AR.
We get virtual.
That's augmented reality.
Yeah, we get
virtual. The augmented is your environment.
Yeah,
and then VR is.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that the augmented AI has something to do with like something like that.
Okay. So it's like the augmented and correct answer now.
So I'm sure it's
augmented, of course.
It's text.
Augmented comes from the
augmented.
Clap for our Lutu.
Machine learning, the AI, they move always.
Charlie, read them.
All right,
Charlie,
so Amazon Augmented AI, that is Amazon A2I. Hey, Charlie. Provides built-in human review workflows for common machine learning use cases, such as content moderation and text extraction from documents. With Amazon A2I, a person can also create their own workflows for machine learning models built on Amazon SageMaker or any other tools.
The service is SageMaker. Oh, Charlie.
Okay, the TextRat.
So TextRat is a machine learning service that automatically extracts text and data from scanned documents. And then Lex is a service that builds conversational interfaces using voice and text. And Aurora is an enterprise class relational database.
So wait, TextRat is also machine learning. So that looks
machine learning service.
So TextRat is also machine learning. So that machine learning AI no be conquer that.
No. TextRat is just like an OCR. It just read text. Read text.
You see, the thing says Amazon Augmented AI. Now, augmented has to do with humans. You see, if we go back to the question, it says human review.
Human review, yeah.
That's where the augmentation comes in. Then the machine learning will go with the AI.
You see, and you see the AWS, and you see, interestingly, I was thinking that the academy itself will have more content than any other online course, right? But you see this one, plenty things they inside where you know they want to modules inside. This particular,
if you only got, they will carry we go.
This particular
the solution architect, we got to.
I swear.
Charlie, you connect.
And you see, there is another course on Coursera on the AWS fundamentals, Charlie. It's like the one they do for the ALS. It's nothing compared to it, but they say this one is even the academic course, but Charlie. God day. Which migration strategy involves changing how an application is architected and developed, typically by using cloud native features. Charlie, this one.
Hey, this one there.
Okay, so let's see. So let's look at Hold on. So let's look at changing how an application is architected and developed.
Replatforming. This one,
replatforming. Charlie, select replatforming. We don't. This time we don't know.
English.
Replatforming.
No, we say refactoring it.
Mathematics.
Refactoring. Wow.
So let's see. The replatform involves selectively optimizing aspect of an application to achieve benefits in the cloud without changing the core architecture. Okay.
Just
so like platform as a service, you no go change anything.
Anything, yeah.
It makes sense.
You sure?
But before we go on, this particular mock test, is it based on the old exam code or the new one?
Okay, so before I start, and I talk say the new exam, they no remove anything. They didn't remove anything from the old one.
Okay,
but but for the new
percentages,
the percentages, and then they added something like new stuff.
And they changed the code.
Yes, and then they changed the code. Because
these questions with the C way, they wanna.
But it did this one inside the Cloud Practitioner Essentials for this one from the Skill Builder. I said Pearson VUE did something with them, right? And you either watch these modules or you watch the Access Hour video, and then you go and do the exam. I know one nurse who just watched the video and he passed. Charlie. So we did inside. An application developer wants to send and receive messages between distributed application components. Which service should they use? This one I know. But Mokusi. Anybody that has okay, let's eliminate it. Let's do elimination.
Distributed application components.
Right. Let's do this thing. Now, Route 53, we know it's a DNS service, right?
So it's out.
Now, Snowball is like a data migration service. So Amazon has different data migration services that they offer. Maybe you uploading data to the cloud might be slower. Let's say you have like larger data set that if you upload to the cloud,
petabytes of data.
Petabyte of data. So they have the Snowball, they have the Snow Mobile, and then another one I've forgotten, right? So they will ship this hardware to you for you to copy the data on, and then you ship it back to Amazon, and Amazon will do the upload for you. Elastic Cache. I don't know meaning.
But they won't even go in for that.
No, but Elastic Cache, the answer did the name inside. Elastic Cache. Cache is elastic.
Yeah, so it means like
so it's not that one.
It's about caching. So it's like
I'm going for the cache.
I'll go for SQS.
Yes. So
like the SQS because it'll be elimination by rough taxes.
Yes, it'll be elimination. So
I'm going for cache.
Is the module
the distributed?
No, it's SQS.
Yes.
No, I can't be Elastic Cache. I can't be Elastic Cache.
SQS.
It can't be Elastic
Cache be like you're storing something
temporary. Cache is more of a storage.
Yes. And then we are looking
at read them. I beg read them.
So SNS be like just notifications, right? They are
Chama, relax.
Maybe SMS and just change the M to
Yeah.
So Amazon SQS is a message queuing service using Amazon SQS. Using Amazon SQS, an application developer can send, store, and receive messages between software components at any volume size without losing messages or requiring other services to be available. In Amazon SQS, an application sends message into a queue. A user or a service retrieves a message from the queue, processes it, and then deletes it from the queue. What you say?
Elastic caching, so it's a service that adds caching layers on top of database to help improve the read times of common requests.
So like caching,
the Elastic Cache.
Okay, so which tool provides automation actions for AWS services and applications through scripts? So we are looking at scripts. Now, Snowball is out, Redshift is out. They are database stuff. So QLDB are there with
QLDB a database, DB which in a database. So the answer is command line.
So command line.
Yeah. Let's go.
Correct. So what's the
so every DB database?
Yes. Quantum Ledger database. Okay.
Once you see DB for back, no
database.
Okay.
Which service is used to transfer up to 100 petabytes of data? So as I said, that's a Snow Mobile. Hey, let me see how many people. Hey, 31. Hey,
nobody sleep.
They make quiet when they watch that. So them just make quiet. And again, 5 was the season of Ekasa.
Which service provides review details of user activities and API calls that have occurred within an environment?
Everybody know. It's everybody know. If you know,
I beg CloudWatch. What the CloudWatch? Let's read what CloudWatch so that we don't mix it split down.
CloudWatch is the monitor. CloudWatch for monitoring.
Monitoring application optimizing resources. Okay.
So it be CloudWatch we could tell you see you are what's it called? Like
your things they overdo them. You overuse your compute resources. Yeah.
That one, you now go set the parameters.
Yes, you now go set the parameters. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that the difference is the CloudTrail actually still like you can see your history, like it logs your activity.
It log your activity.
Yes. CloudTrail is for
access instances, who will access databases.
For audit trail.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Audit trail.
The IP address and
yeah. All right. So which statement best describes Amazon Guard Duty? Now, anytime you see denial of service attacks, know that it is a shield, AWS shield. So that one too is out. Yeah. Service that checks applications for security vulnerabilities and deviations from security best practices. This one is also related to trusted advisor.
You said the DOS is what?
AWS Shield.
Shield. Shield. The AWS Shield.
Okay, Shield. Yeah.
Now, a service that monitors network requests for web applications. This one.
Network requests for web applications.
I think it's one.
A service that provides intelligent threat detection for AWS infrastructure and resources.
It
on guard.
You try. Clever.
You try.
Yeah. So what's the info? WAF. WAF is what? AWS.
Service that monitors network requests for web applications. The response option describes AWS WAF.
Wow. What's your WAF?
West African Federation.
The service is the plenty.
Plenty. A well-architected framework. Hey, Gerald, thank you.
Yeah. No, it's web application firewall. Wait.
Gerald, you are we poison. Oh, I didn't have to go.
No.
You searching for it?
You see, web application firewall, AWS WAF.
These people they are not correct. See, these AWS people they are not correct.
Serious?
You see, some of the terms is already there, but they want to create their own special thing. Then they'll change the name.
Charlie.
Public IP. They will give it some elastic then.
Elastic IP. Oh, Charlie.
This is a conventional name. This is the reason why
Gigabyte Square. They put I for gigabyte.
Charlie, serious.
Gigabyte Square. They put I for middle. What?
That's why these guys are catching up. Azure. Microsoft Azure, they are catching up because then they use the normal.
Yeah, the normal terms. Okay, so a cloud architect wants Amazon S3 to monitor object access patterns. Which storage class should they use? This one everybody forget now.
Object access patterns.
So
standard IE S3
intelligence. It's one of the
intelligent
access pattern. So it does one of the AIA. Let's see. Okay, zone loading. So go be second one.
No, we are looking at monitor object access patterns. Access patterns. There's an access pattern.
Okay, there's intelligent theory.
So that is intelligent theory.
Yeah.
Anybody who know they understand, we could explain, give you. If you are in there, you are silently monitoring, and then you don't understand. Let us explain.
If you don't understand, explain. Submit and explain.
All right. So the Glacier is for archiving.
Archiving, right?
Yes. Glacier is for archiving, and this one, the flexible retriever, is more or less like, okay, we have archived it, but if I want access to it, it should be readily available. And then the standard IA is infrequent access. You are not archiving it, but it's data that is not like accessed frequently. And then one zone IA is where data is stored in just one availability zone.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yes. It's stored.
So it's a standard IA in just one zone instead of multiple zones.
Yes, instead of multiple zones, exactly. So this is the explanation. Yes. Infrequently accessed but requires high availability when needed. So both Amazon S3 standard and IA store data in a minimum of 3 availability zones. And then the one zone does not require high availability. So it's just at one zone.
No, read the main one, the top one.
All right. So intelligent tiering storage class, Amazon S3 monitors object access patterns. If an object has not been accessed for 30 consecutive days, Amazon S3 automatically moves it to the infrequent access tier. Amazon S3, yes. So Amazon S3 standard IA, that is the infrequent tier. If an object is accessed in the infrequent access tier, Amazon S3 automatically moves it to the frequent access tier. That is the Amazon S3 standard.
So the answer is Enko.
Which statement? One of the, I think, office hours will say one of the interview. One of the AWS. She has finished it and then she's working. And she was like, Charlie, the solution architect, she failed, but she still right.
Yeah. She talk.
Professional solution architect, professional, or which one?
Yeah, I think it'd be the professional.
She knows specify. She just
she knows. I think she knows specify. She knows specify.
She just talks. She did try.
Isn't the SA girl?
Yeah, the SA girl.
Yeah, she read the associate. She said the professional is very difficult.
Oh, okay.
So she has done the associate. She did computer science and all that.
So which statement best describes AWS Marketplace? An online tool that inspects an AWS environment and provides real-time guidance in accordance with AWS best. No, this trusted advisor or something. A digital catalog that includes thousands of software listings from independent software vendors.
Marketplace,
so that'd be the correct answer.
A resource that can answer questions. A resource that provides guidance. No.
Yeah.
Marketplace. You enter market.
Okay.
Gerald, talk. Gerald, talk. Type for the chat inside.
He say make you go bed the way you can type to.
You can't type wrong as if you say the go bed. Right?
In S3 intelligent tiering storage class, Amazon S3 moves object between a frequent access tier and an infrequent access tier. This is what we're doing right now. Anybody who go get that wrong, go home. So which storage classes are used for these tiers?
The S3 intelligent tiering storage class. Amazon S3 moves object between a frequent access tier.
S3 standard IA and S3 standard.
1 and 4.
Yeah.
Bravo. You see, Judith, she's shown the answer the question, so see to she start the laugh.
Make you no mind now. She laughs.
Which actions can a person perform in Amazon Routes 50TB?
That's right.
Anything DNS.
Yeah, so we need in DNS, correct? And then again,
connect user request and ultimately the deployment of requests into access to the switching compliance.
Nah, I think it's a connect
request.
Connect
Request.
Connection.
HR. Okay, so transfer existing domain names that are currently managed by other domain registers or register new domain names directly within a number. Okay. So the one that
these are CloudFront, they use some.
No, so CloudFront they deliver content to users
Yeah, but they use Amazon Route 50
Route
something.
53. Yes, Route
Yeah.
53. Yeah. So the other one was CloudWatch, the first one. Monitor and response system-wide performance changes. And the security and compliance reports is AWS Artifact. If people hear that thing before.
This is the artifact. What did they do?
Yeah, so report if you have to accept to some terms an agreement and then all that, you can find all of them.
But am I wrong? This artifact thing, they just said it in the video. One sentence fell.
Yeah.
Yes, one sentence fell. You know, explain answer.
So what be artifact say?
Now, how does artifact even relate to security core and compliance? At least use some word way go fit take, you know, recognize themselves.
So artifact be the compliance reports, online agreement.
I know. What are they talking about? What be artifact? What has artifact got to do with compliance report?
Exactly my question.
That's name that you correlate with what they talk.
I bet Google the word artifact. Maybe it has that meaning.
Artifact.
Yeah.
Artifact. They say as a like a piece of
art.
It
some
has
artistic
it has that meaning.
product. It does.
No, just artifact. The word artifact. Because people use it for
artifact. Have you seen be a piece of art or something?
Yeah, guys, how
that is
the meaning of artifact?
Hey, this one be ARTIO.
The ANO is different. Let me see.
How the meaning of artifact?
By a human being, something observed in a scientific investigation. Who they name these services?
I bet check for another minute.
Daniel, you don't know who they name the services. So they just anyway they take give up. Yeah, they make sense. Artifact says meanwhile we compliance and
Daniel, you bought
comprehend that people.
How the meaning will help you?
Simple object. That's a tool ornament showing human workmanship or
like you know they
chairman, they relate. Yanko.
And baby.
They make sense.
You could do Microsoft Azure go take over the market from them.
You left them. Like plenty services. Which statement best describes an availability zone?
Hey, this one, Judith, come and answer.
Judith, come and answer. The people who type right now, Daniel and then Eben, make you people type your answer.
Yeah, our talks are now you see with our answer.
Oh, Wazu.
Hey, somebody say for.
Hey, right.
Oh, yeah.
Right, go home.
Hey.
A fully isolated portion of the AWS global infrastructure.
I think it's true.
That's the criteria for my questions. They say it will give you the right answer, 2 wrong answers, and then a certain word.
Yes, a closely.
No, something where it go. I forget the word they use.
Is it?
Just
they use some words.
Distractor.
Distractor.
That's the second one.
You give question. You give question. You say you go add distractor. Oh,
he won't distract you.
Yeah, so the distractor is actually the second one. This one, a separate geographical location with multiple locations that are isolated from each other. Now, a server from which cloud? Amazon CloudFront. So this is more or less like an edge location. A site that Amazon CloudFront uses, so it's the same as edge location. So by elimination by rough tactics, it be this one, right? That's 4. So right. Oh, right.
No, the first one be regional cache. Your friend is saying regional edge locations. That'll be the first one. The server from which Amazon CloudFront gets files. That's the regional edge locations, the regional cache to them.
Oh, right.
But you just said, but hold on. Are you sure this is the answer?
So not the second one.
It don't be two.
The second one with
The
the
one they
answer.
look like
No.
the two. If you look at they look
You
like
see?
regions.
You see, we are looking at a separate
Separate
geographical
location
location.
with
It's
multiple
multiple.
locations.
So like
But
it be like
Accra and Tema be separate geographical location. Masa,
No,
make them
A
get
fully,
my right.
in the-
a fully isolated portion
of
the
AWS
global infrastructure.
Now you
I mean,
see, we are looking at a separate geographical location, right? With that are isolated from each other. Now in the
Availability zones are isolated.
now in the, so
this is a region because I think
The geographical location, the geographical location.
In the AWS. In the AWS infrastructure.
But Amazon say in their
but I think in the AWS infrastructure, the data centers are not mentioned. So it's like the availability zones are the least. Like
a fully isolated portion of the AWS globe. Hey, Charlie, this question will be tricky. I
swear.
So it'll be the last one. Yeah.
We get
the second one. The second one is like region.
Obi say her. Me her.
Shock.
Charlie, the 69. They people get 69.
Charlie,
1 point spare.
You see, a separate. The answer, the response option describes a region.
Yes, so a separate location with multiplication.
Because data centers are not like allowed by AWS to be known by the public. So
yeah,
it will distract you. Meanwhile, the thing you know. So why you won't distract me? Which kind of
So which statement best describes elastic load balancing? Another one. The service that provides data for monitoring applications, optimize resource, the way they are a service that distributes incoming traffic across multiple targets, such as Amazon EC2 instance. A service that provides the capability to create, manage, and scale a distributed in-memory. And then
see the way they put that thing.
Charlie. A service that monitors applications and automatically adds or removes capacity from resource groups in response to changing demand.
Scalability.
This scalability.
Charlie, they were going just won't confuse human being.
Load balance.
I will choose the second one.
Yeah.
Once you see distributing traffic now, it will be second one.
Get down.
Targets.
See distribution, you see traffic. So load balancing distributes traffic to
see the elastic cache.
So this is the elastic cache, a service that provides the capability to create, manage, and scale a distributed in-memory or cache environment in the cloud. Okay. Anyway,
so scaling the cache.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
There was one we learned stuff in the round from one of mine. How much more than one we don't learn? Oh,
Charlie, which service provides the capability to quickly deploy and scale applications on the AWS?
Beanstalk. This one will be Beanstalk.
Beanstalk. Elastic.
Beanstalk. We learned Beanstalk like a week ago.
Yeah.
I see Beanstalk. If you go back, it come on.
So if you see Governor deploy AWS applications.
So this one that be what you go make you kai. If you see deployed or then you say you relate them to your government, then you are good to go.
This one it be platform or it be this one infrastructure as a service.
Beanstalk be platform. Beanstalk be platform.
Yeah, be platform.
Platform as a service. Yeah. So you see, they have AWS quick starts like the quick start services. Ready? And an application developer wants to store data in a key value database. This one will be what? the answers okay, we don't see the full answers, but it be what? Obianka before we go look at them.
Obianka. I know you say they do storage, no?
This one be database. That be the next one.
Baby, what database?
This one be database.
Answer the last.
If you what? If you what?
Is it down there?
Yeah, if you what?
I don't say you did down.
AWS say if we see the questioner first, if we think about the answer, if we say the answer first, and then if you look through and it is there, then that is it.
This one that is self-explained for the expert session.
Exactly.
Once you see key value database, that means you know the relational database.
Yes. So
if you know SQL
key value
database,
so no SQL, yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, so if not
key value pair.
So document DB,
Dynamo DB.
No, that was the shut down.
That's why the man say the answer did the last.
I don't say they do.
Dynamo DB.
Boys, no, Charlie.
Document DB.
So document DB be the distraction.
How can I have a database with document DB?
I mean, sometimes you see DB, we figure out the answer that.
That's one thing. And you know, sometimes when you are so sure of the answer, your eyes sometimes
your eyes go deceive you.
Yes, it deceives you.
True. That be what deceive me. I go select one out of two selections from.
That's in the way it will pay you.
You pay me wrong. I get them wrong.
I go take 2 weeks off for what? For do this finish up. No, I don't go to do it.
So we scored 97. So that's
how many. This one score go load. People go cry already.
So no, even this one, according to Dari, your score no go come, but then go right pass or fail.
Yeah, they go right pass or fail, but your scores have to come.
Then later your scores go come.
People go cry.
Hey, but I go pay no.
For where if you get them correct, so you don't go show is the correct or wrong.
Correct.
Just go next.
Just the go. We are
near the who's the one who say waiting now good to come.
You go review your answer.
Review what?
Oh, I think so.
I think you can go back. I think you can go back.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes you answer the question, if you get some question, you will give you a 4.
Yeah, some question will give you a 4, then you go back. Yeah.
But if you come back, the arrangements go change. Like arrangement for the possible answers, no? Yeah,
it go change. So I think
practice Napoli.
Oba will go do
this holidays we go suffer.
So Moro, I think I open another one too. I think it's 20 set of questions. So God willing, tomorrow we'll look at that one.
I guess I will go do them.
No.
Hey, you don't want to sleep. Not 12, whichever.
12.
I know the fifth sleep.
12.
So I hold my phone like 3 and 4 a.m.
Yeah. So this one is actually the CLF CO2, right? So some 20 sample questions. No, CO2 be the new one. It be 20 questions. So
okay.
Make us see. Oh, we are 29. It's just like people they go one by one.
Oh, the one page.
So what we do? I know the one sleep.
Because
after here, I no go sleep. So if your mind be there, make you do.
Chalemo could do. I mean the recording day.
Nah. If you do
that FIS, make them take. See that foundation certificate. I know they like.
People try to stay out.
The FIS. That
FIS, they should take it. Me, I don't like it.
You guys will rest your mind, though.
Yeah. Moku rest on our mind. Moro, go with
it. Yeah, before rest.
Yeah, then we'll look at them. So
FIS, no.
That FIS, in my opinion, I think it's a total distraction, no.
You people for doing
because look at the amount of content we have to consume within a space of 4 weeks.
Charlie, make us stop the recording before you people go this less people, then somebody go listen.
You go finish the recording, then you get like 5 gig video.
I tell you, Prince.